I chose to be an individual contributor for most of these 14 years. Why? Because I love being hands. I absolutely loved being hands on. I loved collaborations. I loved working with the POs, figuring out the use cases, getting into the metrics, talking to customers, building wires, taking the dev through it. There is something called you learn by doing. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you think that you don't know or you know too much. Yeah.
Mhm.
Just taking the chance, whatever is given to you, take it as a challenge and don't be scared if you don't like it or if it's hard. Make good use of the mentorship from your lead or your manager to help you set up a process, follow it through. It's not necessary that you do every step exactly the way that they want. Use your judgment.
Mhm.
Just enjoy the process. The more you enjoy the process, the more you will know, the more you.
Hi, Pavitra. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you back again. And today, I know it's been an interesting topic. We're talking about careers and promotions. Sometimes people go from design to principal or manager. You've been a manager, like all the progressions. So
Mhm.
we'd be very interested to know about your experience. Can you introduce yourself on this experience of careers and promotions? How did you do that?
Hey, thanks for having me back. Yeah, like you said, I was a UX manager and I've been in the UX field for what, 14, a little over 14 years now. So I have transitioned from being a junior, mid, and landed here at the manager role. The transitions were actually quite interesting. During the entirety of my career, I've been very lucky to have like really good managers and really great team members. In team members, I don't mean people who don't challenge me. It's people who with of whom I could learn their strengths. Yeah. Because I really wasn't really great at designing per se, but I had a creative mind. So I had to build on those skills. So seeing how people are working, trying to emulate what they are doing, going and sitting in all of those meetings, even as a note taker, I used to just be present in the process. And that kind of helped me build my strengths, my expertise. And then I started with my own design team. Then I expanded to the larger stakeholders. Then I went to the development. Then I went to company wide stakeholders. Then just started giving presentations, educating people about what UX is within the companies. So all of this added value to my profile and added value to my expertise that I was learning on the go. So I chose to be an individual contributor for most of these 14 years. Why? Because I love being hands. I absolutely loved being hands on. I loved collaborations. I loved working with the POs, figuring out the use cases, getting into the metrics, talking to customers, building wires, taking the dev through it, figuring out better wires, taking it through these stakeholders, getting it signed off, everything. I really love the whole process that we follow. But when I got into management, I realized, hey, I really enjoy people management. It's not like I got only the best team members. Some were challenging, some were really excellent at taking direction. But my growth in that area was not, this person's challenging. I'm not going to deal with them again. No, it's personal growth and personal self reflection. So I am then looking at, okay, how do I fix this? What steps can I do to make this person feel like they are heard and stuff like that? So it's all about personal growth, where you want to go, what you want to do. Knowing that will take you in the direction that you want to head to. You'll be making friends in the right circles.
This is really interesting. So you had such a lovely experience. One of the thing is I took away from your intro is start small, but like before you start, like shadow people, like basically try to involve
Yes.
yourself. Be helpful, Not say, hey, teach me now, take your time away, or just help them in some way. Say, you be a manager, you manage people at different career levels. So when someone enters as a junior, they're not a specialist, but a specialist, you need to improve their skills is much easier. But talking from junior, mid-level, because they're still generalist, and it's better to align your strong skills and improve in that specialization rather than weak skills. So how do you recommend them? How do someone know I'm strong at this one? I'm not so strong because they still didn't have an experience. How do they do that?
There is something called you learn by doing. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you think that you don't know or you know too much. Yeah.
Mhm,
Just taking the chance, whatever is given to you, take it as a challenge and complete that project. While doing that project, you'll probably have absolutely no clue what you're supposed to do. So then ask questions. Ask them, what am I supposed to do here? What are there any business targets for the project? What are your expectations from me? Yeah. Do we have any prior research that I can look at? If who is going to be my main point of contact? Super important.
mhm,
Don't just take a project and let it be. You once you have these things, this is called requirement gathering, right?
mhm,
Then you may or may not like requirement gathering, but irrespective if you're a junior, mid, senior, lead, whoever, it's a prerequisite, yeah, to ask these kind
mhm,
of questions and know whom to approach. Then I'd say when you're doing things that you don't know, you are learning by experience. When you learn by
mhm,
experience, you're having growth. When you're also learning by experience, you begin to realize, oh, I used to think I really used to enjoy, but I'm really enjoying service design more. Or I'm
mhm,
really enjoying the research aspect of this whole process. It's only by doing that you will know what your interests. As product designers or UX UI designers, you will take on multiple roles. Yeah, you probably
mhm.
have to do research, then UX, then UI, stakeholder alignment, all of it. But to know your strengths, you can be a generalist because, well, you need to know how to do all of it. But to have a specialization and strength in what you are most interested in is what will make you thrive. And when you thrive, it automatically shows, it shines. Because anytime, suppose you love research, anytime you talk about your research findings to stakeholders, just to people you're having lunch in the canteen with, they would, oh my God, this person knows a lot. I need to, and next time if I have any questions, can I reach out to you? Say, sure, maybe that person is from business analytics. That person is from legal. So you literally learn by doing. Don't be scared if you don't like it or if it's hard. You make good use of the mentorship from your lead or your manager to help you set up a process. Follow it through. It's not necessary that you do every step exactly the way that they want. Use your judgment.
Mhm.
Just enjoy the process. The more you enjoy the process, the more you will know, the more you will grow.
That's really good point. Basically, be passionate. Passion helps you a lot. Also, make other people recognize the skill or the strong skill you have. And also take
Yeah,
guidance, but don't blindly follow. Experiment your judgment.
yeah. Be
So that's
passionate
a
and
good
don't be
point.
scared to try new things. It's
Mhm.
intimidating, but so much fun.
So now throwing into the mix, yeah, the skills are good. Even the manager, like they have experience. But now see the technology is changing head and tail down. Like it's really crazy. Like you don't even know. Meaning like even the lead or manager who are like accustomed to particular way of doing, because the tools at the end of the day, they're not replacing you, they're adding productivity.
Yes.
They may take about some of the thing. Meaning your lead is also again becoming a junior, like who's mentoring you with the new skills, like adjusting the skill to the tool. So With this one, you're again at the point of figuring out yourself. How do I use this tool? Because see, everyone, how they use the tool, it depends upon their skill set and skill level, right? They have to integrate the tool properly. Thus, I'm not misusing it, but integrating properly with their expertise and skill level. So now it is becoming much more important for every profession, not only design, like every profession with skills of AI, narrow AI. I know that would be good. So, how do you recommend someone with this huge AI and technology war? How do they integrate that one instead of fighting into the skill to progress in their career?
The best way to is to embrace it. Like you said, AI is there to help us. If we embrace it, it works for us instead of us working for AI. If we take the example of, let's say, note taking, yeah, you know that Teams, like all of these platforms have meeting transcriptions, yeah, they can summarize. But is it possible and to give a more humanistic touch to the note taking? As in, it will say, okay, this is points. These were the discussion points throughout that meeting. But then, would it I wonder if we can go so far as say, will it actually be able to harness the emotions or the cognitive skills of the ones that humans to say, you know what, Yash volunteered to do so and so by this week. That's her task. It needs to go in the note taking, yeah, but you volunteered. Maybe the AI doesn't know that it is you who volunteered. Yeah. This
Mm.
is especially true. Okay, online, it may be able to detect who is speaking and assign your name. But if you're in an in person meeting, it's going to be very hard. Yeah. So embrace it, use AI to your advantage, have your own, let's say, have your own note taking, and then corroborate that with the notes that the AI has taken and say what you had missed or what that one AI has missed. So using it to harness to work for your strengths instead of the other way around. It's nothing to be afraid of. AI is there. It's going to be a part of our lives. We're going to be using it in every given technology in the coming future. So the sooner we embrace this, the better it will be for us as designers.
So you mentioned AI integration, like your soft skills are much more important, like your detection. Yeah, you can take the notes to speed up the process, but you have to know somewhat memorizing who said that. Maybe you can go back and see who volunteered. Like that specific subtext would be missing in the AI anyway. Like at this moment, I don't know in the future
This
it may
moment,
be, it would
yes.
become, yeah, it may be a transformer, who knows. So at this point, they're still missing the subtext.
Yeah.
So the skills are changing. So even the market's demands are changing. Now you can see the prompt engineering is a part of, if you're a research
Mhm.
up to know prompt engineering, that's a new skill. How do you anticipate you want to progress in your career, you're progressing with the technology? So just keeping it very vague. And I know like the answer today may not be relevant like in the next week or something, but at this point of time. So what would be the future skills you think is a soft skill learning, but in particular is much more not like blindly learning as it was in the past, research tools and those stuff, into some. So what do you think the future skills for someone who want to progress in the career, maybe like mid-level, mid to senior, apart from the technical skills, what are the futuristic skills they should be aware or try to develop in themselves?
I think communication skills stands out. So as UXers, the more workshops we do, the more we collaborate and communicate with stakeholders, it's like super important for us to learn how to talk business because it is a business world going forward. It's going to be a very big skill. Communication in any way, be it written, be it verbal, be it in facilitation or moderation, super important. If I could highlight one skill that people need to work on would be this communication. Because through COVID, I have noticed that many people are really great at sitting behind the screen. And if they have a presentation, they have it written in the notes and they read it as it is. So then the second aspect of improvement comes in storytelling. How do you want? You can have a script all you want, but how do you make it engaging so it doesn't look like you're reading through a script? The body language, the voice inflections, the energy, the tone in your voice, they all need to really express how you're feeling. That adds a lot of connection with the viewer or to the person you're talking to. I think these would be my main two skills because anything technical we can learn. A lot of the soft skills, as you look at your superiors and their roles and the way they behave and they tackle projects and the design decisions, you will learn from that as well. But communication, you really have to put in an effort. Storytelling, you really have to put in an effort. It's not an easy skill, and people like Wing Jiang, they like really help bring that part of storytelling for us. Join improv classes, get on stage, blabber nonsense. Everybody's gonna clap for you. There's so many different ways for you to practice this outside of work as well.
So that's interesting. So it's just communication is a broad topic, storytelling, and so many things that they're organizing, like inability to talk. So just start somewhere. Like storytelling is the most important part. As a designer, you have to tell a story, even in the workshop. Take people along with you with the journey. So start somewhere, maybe storytelling. Like this soft skills doesn't go away. That will be the future skills. They keep evolving. So if someone is improving the skills, let's say as we started the talk, they shadow, they experiment, and they've been in the same position. How do they know when they're ready for the promotion instead of waiting other people to recognize them, which would be, if that would be, then no one would be shifting the companies. It's just the way the world is. So basically, how do they know someone is ready to take on next level? If it's junior to mid, if I mid to senior, how do they know I'm ready and confident? If it's not with this company, I can move to other companies. So at what point, everyone would be nervous, I'll be honest with you, no matter where, if I'm right, like even director, like VP, everyone would be nervous. But how do someone know, hey, I'm ready now? How do they know that?
Interesting question. From experience, yeah, I'm going to give an example of my own experience. When I started as a UX designer and to become a senior, I had started to, as a junior or a mid level, I was just making designs. We were not even working with developers that closely at that time. So those were like the leads used to take control of that. We were like just doing the design work. But even as a mid level, I wanted to know the tech limitations. Yeah. So I would start communicating just to get better understanding and evaluate if I'm going in the right direction. Is this something the guys can do and deliver? So just for myself, I used to begin communicating with the tech guys. They would give me
Mm.
feedback, I would improvise. And if anybody asked me, why did you do this? Okay, one of the reason was I spoke to this person or the entire team. We did this mini session and they said that instead of doing this, we could do it like this. And this will help elevate the experience. But at the same time, it's they can do it in a sprint. Okay.
Mm.
So I already took the initiative to start communicating. And then I started doing it on more and more projects because I started building that relationship with the tech guys. It started become very easy to communicate with them because they felt heard as well. So started there. Then my lead noticed, my manager noticed. I got great reviews on my year-end reviews
Performance.
from the tech guys. So that elevated. I was like, I'm probably good at this. So then the seniors were already beginning to talk to tech. I was already part of the process. So I went from mid
Mm.
to senior. Then I started talking to customer service. Then I started talking to legal. I started talking to people from different verticals, even if I'm just sitting and having lunch with them. Like It's not I have to be just with my UX friends. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to make the effort to get to know people. Just randomly, I do, yeah, at lunch during the canteen. And in those conversations, I'm having this problem. We have some numbers around this. Are you interested in looking at it? I was like, I don't understand numbers. Would you be okay to explain it to me? Sure. And then we get together and then we. So now I have the tech guys, I have people from different verticals, and I am aligning all of my design decision based on stakeholder feedback and feedback from these other team members. Then I went from, because I was doing that, I became from senior to lead. Yeah. From
Mm.
lead onwards, I needed to get more and more into the metrics, try and begin to understand business. Okay, we are having drop offs. Great. We know that people have a problem here. One, customer perspective, why? But organization perspective, ooh, what's the churn rate? Why are we not having conversion? How much is the drop off? So there is so much insight you will get, and then you start mixing those two to make sense, and then you become from lead to manager. So it is at you start small, you become really great, and then you see how can I grow more because I don't want to stagnate. Yeah. And then you start looking at other things you can do, and then you get noticed, and then you jump. You do more stuff. Only once you're comfortable in that role, then you pick up, do more stuff, you get noticed, you move up. That's how, it's not only about people noticing. Sometimes you have to just go and ask. Say, you know what? you can write your own reviews, right? Year end reviews. Say, these are my tasks that are specified to me, but I went over and above, did this, I collaborated with this. The design decisions we finalized had an impact of this. So you make a case for yourself in the year end reviews. Adds a whole lot of impact because it's not just your manager looking at that sheet, it's a lot of other senior stakeholders as
So imagine like you're at the company, you have a great TVS and everything, but you got a promotion, but you're not satisfied with the salary range. Sometimes that's out of your control. You can only negotiate your salary. You set the base when you're entering the company,
well.
not when you get the promotion. Or someone is there and they're doing great job. They may get bonuses, but they really don't have the scope like to go because there is no opening in the company. If it's a very structured company. So there were various reasons, right? Like maybe you don't get along with your peers, or you just don't like the environment, or management changed. You don't
Okay.
like the
Yeah.
culture. Because enjoyment is, at the end of the day, you're spending best years of your life, most waking time in the job. So that's very important for your mental health, physical health. So how do someone know it's time to move on, go to a next boat or next company? And if they make the decision, the part of the question is because they both are interrelated. So how do they market themselves?
The first part of your question was how do you know when to switch jobs? Yeah. I think when you begin to feel that you're stagnating from your own learning and knowledge growth perspective, and you're like, it's been over 6, 8 months. I'm doing the same thing. I'm not learning anything new. Okay, I'll push it to a year, but I'm still not learning anything new. I'm not
Mm.
contributing anything more than I have been doing so far. So, is this really the right place for me? Some people want to be comfortable. Some people are okay with being in a job where they're super comfortable. They know their role, they know the responsibilities, they know how to get it done, and they're okay with it. But not everybody's like that. Some people,
Mm.
and for whatever reason, they want to shift, but then there's always got to be a reasoning for the shift. For me, from a professional
Mm.
perspective, will be once you begin to feel stagnated in your role, there's no more growth for you. Like you said, there's no role opening or there's no position that can be made available for you. So, what do? You switch over. You sometimes, if the company loves you, you go away, you do your interviews, you get an offer, you come back and say, hey, look, I want to leave because I got an offer from so and so company. And they may come back to you with a counter, but not to automatically accept the counter because, okay, they may give you a little pay raise, but then what is your growth there? What
Mm.
new are you going to be doing? Will they be able to map out a full 2 year trajectory plan for you? If not, then there's literally no future for you in that company. And anyway, moving companies, I think you should move every 2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Mm.
Because things, every company works differently. You can work in companies in different industries, gain all of that experience, use it. It's your arsenal, basically. So, no matter what company you're talking to, you will probably have an example. Especially if you work for consultancies, you definitely have client examples. So, you will know. If you feel burnt out, you don't get along with your peers, there's only so much that you can do to fix the situation. If it's taking a
Mm.
toll on you and your mental health, it's time to switch. But don't, when you're switching, don't make it, when you're switching, you're taking your strength back. Yeah? You're making the decision for yourself and your own well being. So it's not, oh, I'm moving because of so and it's, you know what? I want to work in a place that I am appreciated and I'm in a better mental headspace. So that's my reasoning to move. So you take the strength back. It's never the victim mentality. If you shift from if you're moving because of a victim mentality, it's not going to help you because the interview that you give in the other company will also come across as a victim mentality. Don't want
Mm.
that. You always want to, when companies in interviews ask you about your weaknesses, I am very scared of, I have extreme stage fright. But I give talks anyway. I know I could be shit, but I give talks anyway. Yeah, I do these podcasts anyway. So I take myself out of my comfort zone because I want to challenge and improve myself. And it's a constant
Mm.
ongoing thing. Harness, make use of your weakness to become your strength. It's just the way you put it.
And last point is how do they market themselves? Example, if they're working in very conservative industries like insurance, like in a healthcare, or something like they can't actually reveal the case studies. And they can present it during the interview, but can't really make it public in a portfolio. They have to have some fake cases or something like that to cover it up. But how do they market themselves? That's the whole big question.
Okay. So first things is I, as a hiring manager, would not trust somebody who will show me projects on the slide that is not on the portfolio side. Personally, why? Because that could have a lot of NDA work, and I could be your competitor. Like I could have a different subsidiary in my company, which is your competitor, and you don't know that, and you're showing me all of this data. You know, it. I wouldn't trust that person not to do that to my company when they
Mhm.
like, yeah. So what you have, I'd say whatever you can showcase in your work, be upfront and proud of it and just showcase it. There's no need
Mm.
to have a hidden project somewhere. Now, having said that, because of NDAs and other rules that you have with the company in your contract, you cannot showcase work. So round it up. Make mock, fake. wireframes without any details. Round up the numbers, round up the insights. Because you have done the work, you can showcase
Mhm.
your project. You don't need to take names, but you can say, I work with one PO, three people from the business analysis team, two people from the iOS team, two people from the Android team. I was one of the two QA testers. So you could say all of that without taking names, giving too much away. I have done that. Yeah. And it works. What I also did is I made mocks and I asked my manager if I can showcase it.
Mhm.
A few projects, there were no, because there was still some information. But once I took all of that away and it's very basic, it was okay. When you're doing workshops, blur out what's written on the posters, blur out the faces. That is fine. Like you can then put it on your portfolio. Yeah. So if personas, those are made up things. Yeah. The insights in those insights building those personas are very valid. So tweak it a little bit. Don't give the exact numbers. Round it up. Put some dummy text in there. Not dummy text or lorem ipsum, like real dummy text in there. So it makes sense. So when you change these things up, you're highlighting your work process, your collaborative strengths, and how you went from
Mhm.
A to B. This is totally fine. This is like one of the biggest ways. So when I see portfolios that have projects like this, it makes me feel very happy and proud. And if they can showcase the entire detail, fantastic. Means that's like a big go ahead from the company, probably that they're okay.
Mhm.
Otherwise, the company will know and they'll ask you to take it down. Yeah. So it's there. Another way, like to market yourself, is to say on LinkedIn, for example. I just published this in my portfolio, a new project in my portfolio. Guys, why don't you have a look? If you really like some people on LinkedIn, reach out to them and say, hey, look, this is my portfolio. I'm beginning to look for jobs. So would you have a look and give me some feedback? So a lot of people will redirect you to ADP list or will redirect you to the Calendly to schedule a time so you guys can actually chat through it. Reach out to people on ADP list. They would be the best to give you real feedback. Yeah. They are also the ones who will probably be able to connect you with other people that they know would be able to help you. So I go back, it's all about communication. The more you're willing
Mhm.
to open up and reach out, the better it is for you.
Perfect. So we covered a lot of ground in this episode. So what would be if someone doesn't have a time, if they skip to the end of the podcast, what would be your key takeaways?
Okay. First, guys, don't try to jump ahead the career ladder. Gaining knowledge and experience each stage, each step of the way will only help you become better. Somebody who's just out of college gets a senior designer role, and then,
Mm.
the responsibilities that with the senior designer role are way too many. You probably won't be able to handle it. You'll get super frustrated and go, I don't think this field is for me. I'm going to look at something else. No, start at a junior or mid level. Start from an internship. See if this is even the company that you want to work for. What are your abilities? How much do you have to learn? So don't be scared to go through the process up the ladder instead of jumping through hoops. Yeah. Second is don't be scared of AI. Yeah. Embrace it. Let it work for you instead of you being scared and making you working for it. Yeah. See how
Mm.
you can harness it, harness the potential of AI in your everyday work as well. In order to expand your horizons, do everything, take up every project that you can. build your expertise, build your experience, but then also begin to understand which aspect of UX really you enjoy. And that is
Mm-hmm.
probably the area that you need to become a specialist in. But you won't know until you don't try, pretty much all of them. Yeah. Improve your communication, storytelling techniques that will take you forward like it's a race. It's literally a race at the moment. Don't be scared to switch jobs, whatever your reason, but every reason for your switch needs to be your strength instead
Mm-hmm.
of becoming your weakness. Okay? And just have real portfolio projects. Don't put anything that's in the NDA. Try and be real, showcase your process, and that should really help. Reach out to people on ADP list, on LinkedIn, whatever you want, get feedback, build your net. That's a lot of takeaways.
Yeah, I think it's a common pattern, but that's really nice. And thank you so much for your time, and hope we'll see you around in the next episode.
Thanks, Yash. See you guys. Bye.